Okay, now I have audio. I hear it. All right, I'm going to take that out of my ear. That'll be annoying. Let's see what we got here real quick. People, I'm working on it. This thing gave me a little bit of a hard time at first, but I believe we're good now. Turn the volume down on this device. I got crazy stuff going on. I wanted to catch that car on camera anyway. Um, so let's see here. Working it out, trying to bring y'all the truth about what's going on. Let's see, enable for 2. And I'm going to share also screen. Get this worked out. No. Let's see, this one. Share audio. Bam. Now let me see if I did this even half right. Put the other one over there. Okay, I guess I am sharing on the screen. I just don't see it on the screen. Perfect. I have audio. Okay. So, people, let's see what we got now. Let's see if we can actually have a YouTube channel. How about that? All right. So, there's several objectives that Russia had. The one that I was shown was what they're going to do in the end. That's going to be a big deal. Is why I was shown it. Now, there's some more to it. Okay. This is a picture of the Zaporizhia. I'm not going to pretend I know how to say that perfectly. The nuclear power plant in Ukraine. They took over Chernobyl, and they took material out of it. They're saying, "Oh, we kicked up some dust," is why the sensors went off. That's a lie. And this place here set off sensors, saying that there was elevated levels of radiation around the facility. There's sensors all over the place. No, it's because they stole material out. They also said that they believe that Ukraine, that just out of nowhere, they just made the story up. And that's even the way the story was written, is that out of nowhere, Russia accuses Ukraine of trying to make dirty bombs, nuclear bombs, which means they were going to take some nuclear material, put it in any kind of dynamite, anything, and spread it by an explosion, and then people be radiated. Well, Russia's known for being a poison state. They killed Litvinenko, Alexander Litvinenko, in London, and they radiated half London. They brought it in their pockets. They put it in his tea. It killed him, and that was polonium-210. Now, to the nuclear power plant. How do you make a nuclear poison? How do you make polonium-210? Well, you need a live reactor that's running. Why didn't they shut off the reactor? Well, they could have had many, many objectives here. Okay, the way that the international community knows that Russia made that polonium-210 in Russia is because there's certain, I guess, isotopes that in certain plants or certain areas, I don't know how they exactly test it, but somehow if they can get their hands on the substance, and they did because those guys poured it down the drain and it was found in a wad of hair and stuff, he was trying to get rid of it. Plus the bottle or the container or whatever I think was found, but it was also found on those china dishes and it stayed in them. Well, they tested it and they found out it was definitely made in Russia at a certain nuclear reactor. That was actually a military whatever reactor. For some reason, they have a military one. And they do testing there. Well, if you, in this plant here, if those Russian soldiers, if they brought in bismuth-210 and put it in the reactor, I don't know how many days it exactly takes, but it seems like they were run out of there, or maybe they just left. They said they left vehicles behind. Maybe they didn't need all those vehicles. They just needed those vehicles to get in there. And then if they made polonium-210 in Ukraine and also stole some nuclear material for a dirty bomb, then that polonium-210 would be tested later, and they'd say, oh no, this was made in Ukraine. Now, the international community does not need to be stupid about this. They need to say, oh no, that was made in Ukraine. But we know when it was made because we know what those people were told to do. Now, the Russian soldiers at gunpoint were telling the operators what to do. How would they know to tell them what to do? You see the way it's worded. It's the way it's worded. They didn't just tell them, hey, keep running the plant. No, they told them things to do. Okay? There's 6 reactors at this thing. It's the biggest one that Ukraine has. All right. So let me try to see if I can see where it says that they... Okay. Russian tank commanders knew what they were firing at. Of course, this was not just errand missiles, errand, cannonball here. This was a well-planned, well-orchestrated, aimed attack. And it was not artillery, it was tanks. Like it is artillery to have a tank, but it was not a fixed position 3 miles away. This was something they were aiming straight at. They were aiming at that building. This was a diversion so they could take over the reactor. It's diversionary subterfuge. It's a tactic of war. They shoot over there. Everybody's like, oh, crap, whatever. And then they go to put that fire out, and then these guys are sneaking in and taking over. But they were also shooting at the firemen, which was messed up. So, all right. And they gave residents tablets, iodine tablets, it says, that lived near the reactor. A lot of people just kept them. They didn't take them, but let's see here. All right. That's where they were physically giving it to them. All right. 1,500 feet into the air, or I'm sorry, from the site's nearest reactor. It probably went about that high too, the fire. It was big. And I'm trying to see where it said, though, that they were telling those people what to do. This guy. Yeah, there's a picture of it, okay? And so the training center is where they actually, they shot at the training center, and then they did whatever they did around the reactors. And then the levels went up. Why did the levels go up? Because they probably stole some of the rods, the even if they got spent ones, it's still nuclear radioactive. Even if they got spent ones out of the pool, out of the pools where they keep them cool, they could have taken plutonium from there. Let's see here. I'm looking for where they 6 power units. Okay, Russian troops in control of the nuclear facility were refusing access to Ukrainian inspectors also. They wouldn't let them in there. Let's see, hit with a projectile. I'm trying to find where it says, because somewhere it says, and I'm sure you can pretty much guess that. Let's see here. And then this is where he put, this might be the last time you see me alive. I think he knows they're going to try to poison him. This is Zelensky. Okay, they're not just going to try to, I don't think they're just going to try to kill him. I think they're going to try to get him with something else. So now if they have plutonium, I'm sorry, if not just plutonium, well, yeah, for a dirty bomb, and they're going to blame it. It's a false flag attack. They're going to blame it on Ukraine. But then also they're going to possibly try to take him out with the same stuff they took out Litvinenko with, polonium-210. So this is him saying this might be of Mike Matera. Hey, what's up, dude? So the president of Ukraine is predicting his own death. He's saying this might be the last time you see me alive, and that's Volodymyr Zelensky. So let's see here. Zelensky is currently hiding in Kyiv, is what he said. We were supposed to talk on the phone this morning, but he was no longer available. So I don't know how no longer available he was. What was going on with that? I do know that, well, I mean, who's he going to talk to? Which Putin's he going to talk to? Which one? That's where I'm at. I guess you probably are not aware of the body doubles that people have shown the pictures of Putin on the internet, and I'd like to show that in a bit if I could. I'm just now getting to where I can show screens, so I'm trying to show this one. But he's saying he knows because he's been told that they're coming after him, and it's probably going to be with that polonium. So if they need to test him, they need to test him for polonium-210, just like they tested whether he understands this or not. The president of Ukraine, if he's killed, they need to test him for polonium-210, just like Alexander Litvinenko. So he gave a video address to the nation after midnight, a day after Russia invaded, but that was just a picture from that time. It was just recently that he said this. So there's that. Now I'm going to look for something real quick, and I'm going to try to see if I can't get into this. I'm sharing this screen, and I'm going to see if I can go to another screen. This is the one too. That's money. Okay, let's see if I can share this. I'm not sure if I can do this here. I'm going to try to share this and change it over. I'm going to try to change that other page to this one. Let's see what my old man can't do. Maybe I can't. This is a page by The Guardian. This is the one that says grave concern and all that. Let's see. If I had a proper mouse for this thing, it'd be easier than just using the pad. I could go in and actually just switch tabs. That's a different way to switch, isn't it? Okay, check this out, people. It's going to go blank for a second. I'll go to this page. Let's see. Oh, by the way, the character role, maybe the last time we see his character. Yeah, you never know. Let's see here. Hey, let me see if I can't do this. Let's see. See, I don't even know what all I can do with this thing, but I can do a good bit. I can do a lot. Let's see here. The channel. Click on that. And I really appreciate you being here. Lets me know that also that the audio. I hear the audio too. I'm gonna turn this one down. I hear the audio through Bluetooth. Now I've got a way to check it, so I'll be able to check my own audio if I just think ahead of time and do it. Let's see, my channel. Well, this thing's not wanting to listen to me, is it? Collapse the menu. All right, now it's paying attention to what I'm telling it to do. That wants to take control of mine. I'll just close this one out. Okay, it's doing me no good. I'm going to close it. Live streaming, nuclear plant in Ukraine. Okay. So let me see if I can share this different one. That's the Times of Israel. And then go to grave concern. Let's see how fast I can make this happen. Screen. Chrome tab, grave concern. Make sure I hit the audio button too. That's what I didn't do last time, and then hit share. Now let's see if this works. If it doesn't, I'll see if it also gives me a screen in the meantime. How fast? Oh, of course, there's a delay. Bam! That's how you do it. Okay, so I'm not going to copy and paste. I'm going to toggle between screens. Yeah, I'll help you out here. You find. Hey, I appreciate that. Um, I don't know if I should call you Mika or Micah, but yeah, let's see. Man has been practicing this role for a long time as Justin Trudeau. Yeah, Justin Trudeau. Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, and he is kind of an actor, but yeah, it's some stuff. Yeah, they showed a picture of all of the leaders, including the lady who was leading Germany, the last leader, and then all of her friends that were kids, and they just all happen to be leaders of countries. Yeah, it's not the best and the brightest. It's just who's who. It is a club. It absolutely is. We could have better leadership. They could have a better general in Russia right now. But here's the thing too. It's not so much that they are trying to be a good general even with this war. They're not even trying to fight this war. They just have objectives within the war. And I was shown a vision of them taking out a number one reactor. I don't know if that is that Zaporizhzhia or not, but it's a reactor. Now, they had already given that up, so I said it's not today, but it's soon. They're going to try to take over all of them. I think they're going to try to run all of them China syndrome, or at least a couple of them, sabotage them. But in the meantime, they're doing experiments in them. They stole nuclear material so that they can make it happen what they said was going to happen, that there was going to be a dirty nuke, and they were going to say that Ukraine did it under a false flag attack. So basically, they're taking some material, and it's from Ukraine, so they can say, if you ever tested it, it's from Ukraine. That type of nuclear material at the atomic level, you can test it and see where it came from, which reactor made it, all this kind of stuff. So basically, the style of reaction that made it. So basically, they have the perfect mimic weapon by going into their sites. And so that's the one thing, is they took nuclear material from Chernobyl and they took it from here. And they're making dirty bombs out of it. The other thing is they're making, I believe, because it only makes sense why they would keep them running and tell them what to do, is if you put bismuth 210 next to in a reactor next to the reaction, it takes on different properties. It changes. Like bismuth already has like a half-life, I think, of I don't know how many days or whatever, but if you take bismuth, and it's pretty easy to get, evidently, and put it in a nuclear reactor, it changes it to polonium-210. Then you have a half-life, I think, of 45 days, if I'm not mistaken. So, let's see. Oh, Mika, but I don't mind either. Oh, Micah. Yeah, I get that. Micah. So, the first one you said Mika. Oh, okay. But I don't mind either. Oh, Mika. Perfect. Okay. So, so what I'm doing here, though, is showing that this is where they shot, and this is diversionary subterfuge, okay, to make people come over here from up here. So when they go to attack, though, and go into these buildings here, and maybe even get into these, if these are where the spent plutonium rods are being kept in water, and then maybe break them and take them, or depending on their size or what, and then, or put them in containers. But when they do, all these alarms go off all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So they came in and attacked. And another reason for them taking Chernobyl is it's a direct path from Belarus coming down, and they're using Belarus. But the problem is, and they even said, oh, if you want to, do a joint security thing, we're welcoming Ukraine. No, they need to go and take that thing back. But the problem is they have the ability of restarting that reaction. I believe that's what they're doing. It's part of what they're doing. They're doing so many different things. And this is not a war. This is a KGB operation. Once you understand who's running it, you understand how he acts and what he's doing. He's making polonium-210. He's a destroyer. He can't build anything. He can't even build a country. He could have built a good economy if he'd kept his mouth shut. If he was doing good, he had a yacht, all this stuff. He could have been building his country up, though. He don't care about his country, and he doesn't build things. He was trained by the KGB to do espionage and how to sabotage things. So in that mindset, he's not even good at being a general and leading things because they don't maintain their equipment. He didn't give them food. He didn't give them maps. They didn't have enough fuel. The logistics was not planned out. Actually, part of the distraction so they can go in there and do what they really want to do, which is take over nuclear sites, irradiate the whole place. And they, we didn't, bomb them with nuclear bombs. So technically, legally, we're not responsible as somebody that started a nuclear war. It's a new type of nuclear war. But in the meantime, they're going to use it to make dirty bombs and send those out and use it to make poison, that polonium-210. And it'll be the perfect poison because it's actually from Ukraine, and they can actually blame that on Ukraine too. I see some comments here. Let's see. Remember back in 2012 when the military was practicing over Jade Helm? You should look into that. Yeah, I will. I'll check that out. You talking about Putin? Talking about the Kremlin and Putin. Putin was a KGB agent. Then they groomed him, his whole life. But he's. I don't think that the Putin we're seeing today is actually Putin. I'm going to add another page, and now that I know how to do this, y'all got to check this out because this is crazy. You just won't believe it, but it is what it is. It's somebody put it up on Twitter, and I followed it. Now I have a sensing and a knowing. I'm just going to tell you straight up. One of them is O negative. One of them is of the O positive line, but he is AB. Now, let's see. I don't expect you to understand that. I'm just telling you what's up. So I'm a healer. I have a sensing and a knowing. But then there's this whole internet thing that gives me intel too. Let's see here. Well, I don't. The problem is these two pictures are two different people. They're absolutely two different people. No one has ever in the history of man got changed in this way. So let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Maybe it'll let me into Twitter through this. Maybe it'll go right. Okay. There's a plastic surgery, but there's a, let's see here. Let me search. I'm on a different page. You're looking at that one, but I'm on a different page, and I'm fixing to show it as soon as I find it. It'll take me 2 seconds. Let's see. I don't know if they called it a clone or a double. There are populists. Many today doubles for many TV world of politics. Yeah, they do. Well, I mean, Hillary Clinton's got 3 or 4, and they say one of them's 4 foot something, and the other one's 6 foot tall, and that's what's so funny about it. And they don't even look like her. The one time when she had that episode, they just stuck this woman out front, didn't tell her nothing to say or nothing. They didn't crowd around her. They didn't ask her no questions, but it's just they showed it on camera. That's her, but that's not her. And it didn't. She was younger. It's just, yeah, Manchurian candidates. Yeah, well, I don't know if they're groomed the whole life, but some of them, yeah. Let's see here. Putin, double. I'll just look up this. The pictures of when he was a kid match the one on the left that I put up. The one on the right, I could find it in 2 seconds on mine, but I wanted to see if somebody else where they had put it up. So you see what I'm talking about. Let's see. Putin is now recruiting mercenary Syrians to bail him out. The first 1,000 thugs to sign up receive a free body bag and half the funeral costs. That's messed up. The stuff they put on Twitter is just really funny. It's really funny. And see, that kind of looks more like him, but let's see here. So I don't know how many, but he's also at a table. They got him at a table, that's like 100 feet long, and he's at one end of it, and all of his so-called guests don't realize that that's not Putin. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a video that says they believe he's a hologram, because at least in one of the videos, he's got just flight attendants around him, and the flight attendants around him are like actresses or whatever, but also they've got his hand, and it goes through a microphone. Hands can't go through microphones. There's a video on that. I'll put a link up to that. I got a playlist. My next live. That's what I need to do is probably go into that. But first, I want to show this. So these are different people, and at the very least, he has one double. I don't know how many he's got. Let's see. I'll click on this, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Perfect. Yeah, and see, I couldn't do this before. Didn't have time to learn it. And so now that I know how to change up pages too, that's awesome. Let's see. Oh yeah, and this guy put Russian troops opened fire against each other near Kyiv. 9 tanks and 4 armored personnel carriers were destroyed. Well, that's just him typing that. But now the news has said, okay, we're showing that this looks like this. Okay, so, yeah, let me share this page. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see. I'm going to go to, let's see, screen, share audio. I got to make sure I share that audio, boy. Let's see here, Twitter. Bam. Bam. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22. Why is it taking so long? Maybe because I have a couple tabs open. So, Man, that's about 30 seconds, but I think it's because I have so many tabs open. I was trying to see how long I was counting off the seconds. This is going to click over like right away. It's doing it now. It reloaded itself is what it did. So I'm going to get rid of the grave concern thing. I'm going to get rid of this might be the last time thing. This should make it a lot faster. Nuclear power plant in Ukraine photo. Okay, I'm going to close out of that one. And then I'm going to scroll down. Let's scroll on down. This is where it said Russian troops fire against each other, but I found an actual YouTube video. I try to share stuff from YouTube on YouTube. So, fake Putin or not? Well, this guy is not this guy. The nose is wider. The ears on this one come down and attach completely. This guy has an earlobe that comes under and comes up. People's ears, nobody gets surgery on their ear like that. His eyes are more open. His eyes are almost shut. He's got a round, like a shroom looking head. This dude's got a long face, long head, and his lips are bigger. So he's always had, this type of lips. You look at his kid photos. So we can even double click on this and see if we can make it bigger. Yeah. Okay. So, you tell me. It's on you. You know what I mean? It's not about what I believe. Like you're fixing to see it. I guess it takes a second for this thing to change over. There's like a, what do you call it? A delay. You're fixing to see. There it is. And I guess there's the same delay on my voice, so I don't know why I'm even saying it like that. But there's that. So, at this point, cue the Slim Shady music. I'm just saying, maybe I can bring that up. Can I do that? Let's see what else I can do. I'll let y'all look at that for a bit. I don't want to just put it up and take it down, and then you have to come back to this video and try to look real hard and find the spot where it's at. So I'm gonna leave it playing right there for a sec. I'm gonna try something. Let me see what I can do. Because at this point, it's almost comical at this point. Turn the source on. See if I can send the audio to it. And then source. XM, no. Let's see what we got here. That's FM. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can find this here. You'd think I'd be more prepared, right? Yeah, okay, that's great. Let's see if I can send the audio. Let's see, settings, connections. If you heard that and you picked up on it, you know what I'm doing. But if you didn't, it's all good. I'm fixing to have it. Let's see here. Bluetooth. I can make this work. I can do this, people. Let's see. Yeah, okay, it says connected. So set it up for audio and everything. And then go back, source. Let's see if it'll pick up Bluetooth audio. It does. Bam. Let's try this again. All right, so, there's too many Slim Shadys. That's all I'm saying. Saying. Let's see here. So, will the real Putin please stand up? That's all I'm saying. There's too many Slim Shadys right here. The one on the left, I don't know. That's the original. So I think the real Slim Shady, is the one on the left. Oh, I killed out the tunes. I didn't mean to do that. That's my bad. But here we go. We're going to play this shit. We're going to play the Who's the Real Putin? Will the real Putin please stand up? It's Slim Shady. And I noticed something that he did wrong the other day. The one on the right did a little something different. Now, it's very European to hold flowers down and then bring them up when you present them to a woman in Europe. There was a guy who talked about this who was a spy, a U.S. spy, and that's how he finally busted this guy in the U.S. and knew that he was a Russian spy because the guy was holding the flowers upside down. It's not a normal thing to do. Well, the guy on the right first had him up, and then I got to put him down, and then he put him up. So I don't even know that he's European from what, and like descent. Like, yeah, he speaks Russian, yeah, but I'm saying something's not right with the one on the right because I saw the way he carried the flowers. So I'm not saying they can't be the same, but do you know how much plastic surgery it would take, and who fixes their ears? Nobody does ear surgery. So, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? That's all I'm saying. So we have played this Slim Shady game, and I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's all these fake Hillarys too, and those are obvious. But I've never seen the picture of him next to each other, like both of them or whoever they are, whatever. Evidently, 100-foot table away, they look alike. So, which Putin are we really dealing with? I guess that's the question. So, I'm going to look up here, though. Let's see. Let's see if which I know they already took back that nuclear reactor, that one, but they were actually fighting for another one. They're trying to take them all over. I think they want to create a nuclear radioactive zone, and that will be their buffer from NATO, and they don't necessarily have to take over the country, which is a very KGB thing to do. This is not a war if they're doing that. It is a sabotage of a country. Let's see. No, let's just do it like this. Nuclear power plant. This is basically, and most people already have their crap together. I apologize for my channel. It is what it is. I'm just a truck driver. I just turn this thing on and bam, you know what I mean? But, yeah, this is where he put back under control. And they even question this guy. This guy is great. If you're on Twitter, subscribe to this guy. He's like the greatest guy ever. He's a reporter with a press pass. I'd like for him to go and question those people at the nuclear power plant and ask them, what specifically did the Russians do while they were at that plant? What specifically did they request that you do while they were at that plant? What were they up to, and how many were there, and how many were in the room, and then how many, and did any of them have any liquid that could have been bismuth? That's what's popping. These are the real questions that will not be asked, but this guy could probably get an interview with them. He's there. So he's with the Kiev Independent. So I'll put a link up to this video to him and see if he's interested. Dude, if you're interested, I'm speaking to you right now, to interview the people at the nuclear power plant, to ask them what specifically those troops were up to, like what they did, and how many there were. And you need to know how many they allocate to taking over a plant so that you can know how many is at the next one, so you can know how. That's the questions. How do you take back a nuclear reactor? Some bunch of something forces scared them away, they say, but maybe they had already met their objective for now, and we're going to come back and take it over again later. Okay, the people at the plant hadn't been home in a few days. They weren't changing shifts. They weren't allowing them to, and they were keeping them at gunpoint, telling them what to do. The magical question is, did they reach an objective while they were there? How many days does it take to turn bismuth into polonium-210? Did they do this? And did they steal nuclear material? Now, we kind of know that that happened because, why? Well, they set off all of the monitors at the place that said there was, a leak, and it was emergency. So having done that, how can you not say that they took? I mean, how can you say they didn't take nuclear, radioactive material out of the place, or at least move it or do something with it? So yeah, on the one hand, Chernobyl's trying to say, oh well, we kicked up some dust and made nuclear reactors go off. That's not true. If this one here went off also, but then there's other places on the internet that reporters are saying, even in the U.S., saying, "Oh no, there was no radioactive leak or no abnormal levels detected in Ukraine," but other places are reporting it. So really, there was. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And it was from them doing two things. One's getting material for a dirty bomb, and the other is likely, because this is what they do, it's KGB style, making polonium-210. Now, polonium-210 is not going to set off the alarm so much, but them going into the reactor and coming out of the reactor would. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And this guy here, like I said, he's awesome. So, Ilya I guess is right. Ponomarenko. I hope I got your name right. Dude, interview him. Talk to the people at the nuclear reactor plant and see what Russia was doing, and then they'll know what they're going to do at the next one, and we'll maybe know how to defend against them and all these things. So, what's their modus operandi? What's their MO when they get in there? And are they bringing in stuff to change? So, but they was even giving him a hard time when he put this up. Nuclear power plant back under Ukrainian control, and there was people that were saying, dude, if you're wrong, then I'm going to hold this against you and whatever, But no, he's right there. He's boots on the ground. This guy. He's boots on the ground. So, I mean, you can go to his little thing real quick. This is him. You know what I mean? So, and he goes out and talks to the, reports to, or with the troops, and gets boots on the ground intel. So let's see here. I'm going to try to do something here too. Maybe I can just change, since I'm showing this page and since it's fast enough, let's go to YouTube. I got a playlist. I got stuff popping here. Just saying. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and this whole no-fly zone thing, evidently there's some kind of a no-fly zone because Russia took a plane to have some kind of a meeting where they did not go straight west to get there. They went way north, straight up, over and all the way around Finland and all that stuff. I mean, completely out of way, cost a lot in fuel, all this stuff. Evidently, they're not trying to fly anywhere they're not supposed to be. So let's see here. But they plan on taking out some planes. That's what they do. And I have a sensing and a knowing. And my knowing is the part that told me about that. And it's like, that's why I was all over the MH17 thing ahead of time. And that's why I was shown that info, is so I would understand more stuff I'm given. And I understand it. So let's see here. Oh, look, we're live right here. Let's see. Russia warns not to host Ukraine airplanes. We will find every Zelensky condemns Russian. Let me go to my playlist though, but I want to see if, let's see, there's another Zelensky. Accuses West of wanting Ukrainians to be slow. Let's see. Oh, this is a pretty good one too. This is where they actually shot down this helicopter. Right there's where it lands. Bam, and it bounced. It like the Mi-24 Hind helicopter. These are the double-bladed ones that China thought they wanted until it got hit. You know what I mean? So let's do that again. Bam. Like, hold on a second. If I could even pause it at the point where it hit. Imagine that you're shooting at it. It's coming from you, like from the right. Look at how the missile comes in from the right. Right. Well, let me show the arrow. The missile is here. Here's the aircraft, and they meet right about there. So this guy's over here shooting, and so there you go. Check it out. Now, don't think this missile here does not act like a javelin. This one is more like a stinger. So they got stingers. They're good with aircraft. I'm calling that a stinger. Bam! And then they all cheered and all that stuff. If the audio was playing, I don't know. Well, this one might not have it, but yeah. Toast. Aces. That's just aces. I don't know how many they've shut down. They've shot down another Russian jet. Here's Weon talking about the Russian jet, another one that was hit. And it's actually showing them. And they took the pilot. They took his helmet. They took his white helmet.
Continues to unleash its military offensives in Ukraine. Thousands of residents are fleeing their homes to escape the violence. The situation worsens. UN agency says that the number of...
I like Weon, by the way. Weon, y'all know what's up. Y'all steal my intel. I'm stealing yours too. It's all good. Let's see, where was it at? Where did it show it? But, well, this is fair use. I mean, because I'm showing who it is and all that stuff too. But, let's see, where? Right in...
which is just about 20 kilometers away from Kiev. has found itself on the front line between Russia and Ukraine forces over the past few days.
Right here.
Was seen helping the elderly as they scramble to find a safer place. In the Ukrainian city of
That's just them helping
Russian
older
news
people
train was reportedly shot down by
get around.
Ukrainian forces on Saturday.
And Russia, by the way, said, yeah, we'll create a corridor for you to bring people through, and we'll have have a ceasefire, and they'll have a safe passage, and then started shelling again so that it stopped it. And now they're saying, well, if you got a vehicle, we'll have a convoy of people and we'll let y'all through. But it's still dangerous. And so Russia is trying to mentally, this is a really bad warfare tactic, but they're trying to mentally break the people from ever even wanting to come back too. But they're messing with them and trying to make them think they're going to die at every second. Death of 1,000 deaths. It's wrong. So it's not just a war between two countries' armies. They're absolutely targeting the people mentally, physically, and otherwise. And so they've purposefully been told, even the people that were captured were told to hit residential housing and told that is your, shoot at that right now. That is your objective. That's your target. And so to say they're not targeting it when you got captured Russian people that are like defecting because of it. And that is, I believe, true what that guy said the other night, that they're taking even their, I would call it a K-bar, but even their knives and punching holes in their own fuel tanks and saying, well, we're out of fuel, but it's because they punched it. And the ones that they're driving across the border, they're leaving them as what Ukrainian military is calling gifts. They're like, oh, a Russian gift. Look, and they're opening them up, and there's all these personnel carriers, all these seats, and then you see their clothes where they've like taken off their uniform and a bunch of their crap and trying to blend in a little bit or whatever. Some of them kept it on, some of them didn't. They're all being captured. They're catching them, even if they're like renting cars. One guy like tried to fight back. He was trying to rent a car to get out of there, and so they knew he was a Russian soldier that was in their country that was then at that point like, what am I supposed to do now? Conscientious objectors. And it's not from fighting, period. It's from killing their neighbors for no reason because they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. There's dissension among the ranks. They said that they were firing on each other in the column. I believe that too. This is where the residential buildings got busted up. But I wanted to go into that playlist. I made a playlist.
There was a leak of radioactive elements from this plant as well.
Let's see. I gotta find my playlist. That's what's popular.
Available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.
Let's see. Yo. It's gonna redo it. I know what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna have to click on that.
Thinking about going solar, but not sure whether it's worth it.
Let's see here. Screen. So you'll see the screen is going to black guy in a second here. I hope I've got audio. It says sharing this page, we shall see.
As Russia continues to
Audio.
unleash its military offensives in Ukraine. Keep the violence. The
Should still be good.
situation has been estimated 1.5 million by the end of the week.
Yeah, perfect. I still have audio. Now let me go into this. A little bit slow. Let's see what we got here.
Multiple fires have been reported from in and around the
Let's go here. And then I got to go to my playlist. There we go. All right, it's working a little faster now.
We began tonight with Russia's intensifying war against the people of Ukraine and the increasing attacks on cities now under siege.
It's kind of funny, too. They're saying now, although this is not good, this is where that explosion is fixing to blow this guy up. I don't know how bad he got hurt.
That shell hit soldiers helping people leave amid the bombing. The town's mayor says 8 people were killed during evacuations. Secretary Blinken in Moldova today saying the U.S. has seen credible reports of attacks on civilians that would constitute war crimes.
Let's see. Turn this up.
For a second day, a brokered ceasefire that was supposed to allow civilians to leave the battered city of Mariupol was broken by shelling.
That's as loud as that gets.
Buses awaiting passengers who were unable to board for a ride out of the war zone.
Oh, by the way, they're talking about Russia sending a bunch of their junk vehicles. I think that they are trying to go undercover with a bunch of stuff. They've got a bunch of fake. They're painted. Oh, it's almost like a bunch of delabeled UPS trucks, but it's like some of them look part military, but they're not. Some of them are buses. They're like no label, and they're running them on trains down to Ukraine right now. So that's what's going on with that. Now let's find this playlist and let's get to it.
A senior defense official tells ABC News they believe at least 95% of the forces that Russia had massed at the Ukraine border have now entered the country. We have.
Oh, I'm on a different. No, this works.
Cryptocurrency to get the craziest return that you've seen literally anywhere. And we're doing this by leveraging relationships with Fortune 100 brands and cryptocurrency whales that we've built over the past decade that you benefit from on day one. And as if that wasn't already enough, what if I told you that this is not a course? And that instead of it being a course, we are actually going to do it all 100% for you so that you don't lift a finger. Because I want you to be able to focus on what matters to you, which of course is your friends, your family, and your business and what you're already working on. So if you want to learn more about
Let's see. I had one that was like next live. There we go. Bam. I don't want to play them all, but I want to go into it. Oh, that's where that chick was arguing with the. We're not going to go through that again. Let's see what we got here. That was a lot to go through. You want to go through that? That was on yesterday's live. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, and of course they're going to be tried for war crimes. I've got a whole playlist for war crimes. They're using vacuum bombs, thermobaric bombs. Now they're going to be using dirty nukes and blaming it on Ukraine. And of course there's the poison of it all. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this was the story about Alexander Litvinenko, the spy that Russia actually killed with polonium-210, and then he said, hey, I think I know what happened, and he told him before he died. Basically, those two spies that were supposedly his old KGB buddies went to London to visit him. They tried to poison him once. It didn't work. The second time they met with him, they tried to poison him again, and he doesn't drink alcohol, so they put it in the tea. They said, hey, we're finished with the tea. If you want, you can have some. He noticed the other guy didn't drink none. And then when they went back and tested all the teapots, they found the one that they used. They found it in the sink in the bathroom. They found it under the hand dryer in the bathroom. They used sniffers and found it on the plane seats. They found it in the hotel of the one guy that stayed there, and he had dumped it down the sink because they each had individual hotel rooms. These two guys, which now those two guys work in the government in Russia. You'll never see them again, but they have been given high positions and given all kinds of they've been awarded this and that, for what they did, basically, because they were told to do this. And Litvinenko even said that Putin did it. So he was Putin's biggest critic. He said that Putin was behind the bombings in Russia of the people's houses to try to start them into a war. Maybe that was in Chechnya. I have to look at where the bombings of the apartments were. They used polonium, and this guy was like telling everybody, hey, he's a spy, and and his wife is on this video and everything else. Let me see if I can get to this part of the video, or at least the part where it shows the guy. But that's what I was talking about, is polonium. They used it on him. They've used it on a few people. They've assassinated a lot of people with this. Quite a few. And but they use different types of poisons. But this one can be made in a nuclear reactor, which is why I said they likely were doing that. Okay, I'll just skip off of that and go to this one. And it talks about, let's see here. I'd like to find that one that was not exactly, one that's not exactly Al Jazeera. Go to the other. That's okay. I'll make this playlist open. So waiting on the page. Okay.
Attack. Alexander Litvinenko co-wrote a book called Blowing Up Russia.
That guy. But let's see here. Well, this will work. I'll just click on this one. Let it roll. That's what he looked like in the hospital bed, by the way. I'm not sure if the page shares the audio of this video while I'm playing it, or if it's all through my mic. I'll try to move my mic. Make sure you speak to this.
Is George Draculis, and he's a professor of nuclear physics at the Australian National University. Professor, tell us more about polonium-210. What is it?
Well, polonium-210, as it's called,
Polonium-210
is a radioactive isotope that only occurs in nature through the very long and slow decay of uranium-238.
of uranium-238.
Something happened. Just from
Polonium-238 itself has 84 protons, 126 neutrons, but it has a very short half-life, 140 days. So it disappears after a short period. So it doesn't exist very much in nature itself.
So if you were talking about finding residues of this on a body, that would be possible or not?
Well, it would be possible, but the issue with the short half-life is that, for example, in the particular case you're talking about, it's 8 years since the material was ingested into his body. So it's gone down in intensity, in radioactivity, by a factor of nearly 1 million. That makes it much harder to detect the material. You wouldn't detect very much material outside the body because the danger of polonium-210 is when it's ingested. And the amount of material you're talking about is only about a microgram. That's a millionth of a gram. That's enough to kill about 5 people. So that's a very tiny amount of material. But it would be concentrated, for example, in the kidneys or the stomach. So if you could analyze the kidneys or the stomach, you would be able to extract some material and with very sensitive techniques pinpoint whether it is in fact polonium-210.
So you'd have to go looking for it. It wouldn't appear on a normal biopsy.
No, I think because it's, if you think about it, it's a very.
I'm playing this because I think this is how they're going to try to take out Litvinenko.
A toxic material. It'd be very hard to find something like a microgram, a millionth of a gram, in a body of 100 kilograms. So most techniques would miss it. But we have very sensitive techniques for measuring very low levels of radiation. So we can measure, in fact, a few atoms of radioactive material. And you don't need grams of it, you don't need micrograms of it.
If I wanted to get hold of some of this in order to kill somebody, where would I get it?
Listen to this part.
Well, I think it'd be very hard to buy commercially. You can buy polonium-210 as an industrial source, but at the microcurie level. To lethal dose something like a millicurie, 1,000 times larger. So that's not available commercially. You can make it in a reactor.
You can make it in a reactor.
Process. You start with bismuth-209, which is a metal, put it inside a reactor, capture neutrons, and that makes bismuth-210. That decays to polonium-210.
Did you hear that?
And with a bit of chemistry, a sophisticated chemistry, you can extract it. And the issue, I think, is you need to remember you don't need very much. You only need about a microgram of material. So it's probably not a very expensive process, but you'd have to use a reactor to make it. Probably.
You have to use a nuclear reactor to make it.
A source.
So,
of polonium.
yes, you can trace the source, but they said no. But understand, you can make it in a nuclear reactor. You put it next to the reaction, and it changes the material into polonium-210 from bismuth-210 or 210, the way he said it. So, people, that's what's popping. That's what's really going on. They're trying to make it in Ukraine, so it looks like it's from Ukraine. They're also trying to use their wasted plutonium and or even good, pure plutonium that's not been spent as a radioactive bomb, and then blame it on Ukraine, a dirty bomb. They've already said they would. That was the other thing too. Is where did I find that at? Somewhere I found that Russia was going to use a dirty bomb against was that Twitter? Let's see. Russia. Dirty bomb. It was either on here or on Twitter, but I screenshotted it too, and it may have even been ABC. It said that Russia, let's see, Ukraine building dirty bomb. Russia alleges Zelensky warns another nuclear plant is under threat. Yeah, that was the third one, and this is 16 hours ago. We're just going to pop on that. It's all just print, but the Russian media alleges that Ukraine is close to building a plutonium-based dirty bomb. No, they're close to building one. First, they had to attack a nuclear radioactive, basically a nuclear reactor, and get radioactive material from them. Soviet know-how. Whatever. Ukraine is using Soviet know-how. In other words, they know what we know because they know you doing it. That's so much crap. If we didn't know that they had just taken over a nuclear reactor that they could steal the stuff from to make the stuff, then we wouldn't already know what they're planning to do with it, and then they tipped their hand at first. And how would they even have intel on Ukraine, knowing what they plan to do? You know. And at this point, it looks like he's like, okay, I've had enough of their propaganda garbage. He probably don't even want to listen to this. I don't blame him. Let's see, Ukrainian Zelensky's forces. Yeah, a third nuclear power plant. And it's probably the one there's one in the south, and then there was one, Chernobyl they took over too, but they're not counting Chernobyl. So they took over two, and they're trying to take over a third. And they're not trying to turn off power, they're trying to steal material and set it up for meltdown. That's why they don't want to they would be turning the reactor off and cutting those people out of power and letting them freeze to death. That's not what they're doing. They're going to irradiate all of Europe and them along with it. So it's the clear war that they don't have to shoot off missiles to have. Kind of messed up. And actually, there's another video where Zelensky even talked about this before all this and said, you run the risk of, inaction would be running the risk of having a radioactive cloud go all over Europe. He said this. He knew that this was what they could do. And that's what he was saying was, if we don't get help defending Chernobyl, because he knew that they would do that with Chernobyl. Now they're trying to take over all the reactors because they need running reactors to make the polonium-210. They also needed to steal their material and have dirty nukes. And then when they're done with the dirty nukes, they're also going to, they may even blow up those reactors with missiles. And even if it spreads around, that's how it is. Let's see here. Where does from CNN? No. Some of it is I have a gift and I'm given intel, and then I have to look it up on the internet. I do watch ABC News. I do watch some CNN if they have something pop up or what, but I look at people who are boots on the ground intel, like that one guy who's a reporter in Kyiv and in and around Kyiv, or Kiev if you want to call it that, in Ukraine. There's a couple of guys that are soldiers. There's a couple of guys that are, what would you call them? Militia that are in Ukraine. There's, like I said, Ukrainian soldiers that are putting up videos, and then there's other people that are putting up videos that they've gotten somehow from soldiers that are the actual Russian captives, POWs, that tried to attack Ukraine and surrendered, or were told to even drive there and then just surrendered, or they tried to assimilate and sneak out through Ukraine and got captured. Let's see. Let's see. View RFY. So, yeah, I get my information from Twitter. People posting on Twitter because they post it instantly. Like, okay, look, check this out. You want to know where I get intel from? If I was just looking for intel right now, like this right here, and I was trying to figure something out, I would say TWITTER. I would go Twitter. I would go bam, and I would just hit the search. It's so simple. Okay, go to Twitter. Go to home. Search Twitter. And just type in Ukraine. You could put Russia, Ukraine. You could do, just search. It's so simple. And this is people who have accounts who run the risk of, if they put something up, people laughing them off the internet. So basically, they want to be. Everybody wants to be reputable with what they're doing. Nobody wants to be considered somebody that doesn't put up truth. So this is where all the intelligent people of the world have congregated. Not to say that you can't be in other places, but if you don't know about Twitter, you should be on Twitter. People, you should be on Twitter. It will make you more intelligent if you're not, but I'm just saying, it'll educate you on a lot of things, and you'll see all the world leaders have pages. I mean, these is the ones with the check marks, or like this guy here, Jack Posobiec. I think he's a senator. There's all these people. There's judges, senators, people, presidents. They all have pages. I'm not big on following really a lot of people. I like real people to follow. Let's see here. So I follow real people. Let's see what we got here, though. Call to action. Let's see. What is it? It really shows who paid attention to Ukraine reporting in 2018, 2019. I was reporting on them way before that, bro. So I got you with that. You know what I'm saying? But he's right, but I was on it. So for some reason I was shown to look at this, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And I did. I don't believe he wants to argue because now he knows he can't. His strategy is simply one of genocide, destruction, genocide. These are war crimes. Yeah, all he knows how to do is what he did in the KGB. So he continues to do that. So it's my understanding that okay, updates on the invasion of Ukraine. This is from the AP, the Associated Press. Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the U.S. House is exploring further isolate. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to keep isolating. They're going to be. They're going to completely decimate Russia's economy. Nobody's going to have 1 ruble, and it ain't even worth a tenth of a cent. Russia oil imports. Yeah, we don't need their oil. We got our own. How about open up that Keystone Pipeline? Just saying. You know what I mean? Become energy independent again, like we were under Trump. I'm just saying. We were. Let's see here. Anonymous has hacked Russian streaming devices. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't want to click on it necessarily, but that's good. That's the Jerusalem Post. It says Anonymous did that. Russian streaming service. And Elon Musk said that he's tweeted back and forth. So if you want to follow what he's put, but it's just been reported in other places that he tweeted back and forth with, I guess it was maybe Zelensky Volodymyr Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, asked him, said, "Hey, look, we got bombs coming out of Russia and everything else. What we need is your satellites up in the air." And evidently, he sent a bunch of Starlink server kind of things to Ukraine and said, "I got you." So Elon Musk is sending and making sure, because it's the only, and he even warned ahead of time that he might be a target, or his stuff might be a target, his satellites, because he was the only internet provider, all kinds of stuff that was available, in communication that was available in Ukraine, because Russia attacked all the rest of it. Let's see here, but they were still in a lot of spots, still getting Elon Musk. I might get that Starlink at some point. I might get that on my truck. I'm looking at it. It's getting cheaper. I think it's like, maybe some of them's $100 a month, maybe some of them's cheaper. Elon, send me a Starlink if you're listening. I know he wouldn't be. I'm just saying, I'm nobody, just a guy. But if you did, hey man, send that stuff, man. I will Starlink it up. Join the Freedom Convoy. Oh yeah, and a lot of people. That's the trucker convoy, but there's a lot of people that are joining up and going to Ukraine, like European vacation style. Just saying. So, that's how it make it go. Let's see. 2 embassies were evacuated. Gas prices are over $4 a gallon. Inflation is at a 40-year high. Russia has invaded Ukraine. Afghanistan is controlled by the Taliban. Grocery prices are up 20%. Yeah, we're doing great. Let's see here. I'm saying, I'm trying to haul food. I'm trying to be the supply line. Tempted as I am that I would take a European vacation, I'm tempted to go there myself. No lie, people. Go visit Santa. Me and Santa could roll in his car and just go deliver presents. I'm just saying. Must watch video. This Russian POW on the misinformed intel from Russia he came into Ukraine with. We've seen this countless times from captured Russian soldiers. He says Russians back home are brainwashed. Yeah, he was too. And there you go. Maybe I can click on it. You know what? Rather than do that, nationalists, Nazis have gained power. Yeah, they're talking about Nazis. It's crazy. Everybody's comparing Russia, comparing Putin to a Nazi. But this is where I go for intel. I just start looking, you know what I mean? And then it's like, let's see, a huge convoy is stuck, surrounded by mud. Oh yeah, the mud's coming in too, because the thaw, today's the 6th. Today is when there's supposed to be a big time bunch of people getting together and protesting in Russia on the 6th. Even people in the government that used to be in the government in Russia all are calling for this. A lot of them will probably be shot. A lot of them will be arrested. That's happening today, the 6th. But the 9th is when the thaw starts. There's going to be a big thaw in Ukraine that just weather-wise, that's just when it happens. So no gas, no food. They're cold. And then there's reports that they fired on themselves. And so, but this right here, though, just so you know, the story behind this actual picture, I have the story behind this. If it'll load up, give it a second. See, Russia's got other problems too. They don't maintain their vehicles. But then on top of that, they bought a bunch of tires from China. The maker of this tire it's a Chinese tire, and the one problem is if you don't move those vehicles around, they get like not necessarily, I guess you might say broken bands, but they have problems with the tires. Well, what's worse than that is these Chinese tires are not made for this kind of cold, and they're blowing up on them. So they have all these vehicles that are Russian vehicles that they've bought into and put all these Chinese tires, and the Chinese tires are failing. That's why they're having a lot of these breakdowns. That is the true story behind these. There's a whole report on them. Let's see. Ukrainian army, many of which are descendants of the Cossacks. Yeah, they don't play. Read about this played out. Yeah. No gas, no food, cold. It's the charge of the heavy brigade, just like I said it would be. And people didn't believe me. They're like, oh, we heard it all. I mean, I got comments like you would not believe. But the problem with that exact vehicle, that one, is they didn't move them around much, and it caused some flat spots, but also the tire blew because it was a Chinese tire. They're having them blow like this. So, let's see here. Lots of tire failures in the cold weather. Let's see. I just hit wait. And I might even be able to. I X'd out of it. That's why I need Starlink. I'm telling you, Elon Musk, get at me, man. I don't need to meet you. I don't do meetups. So if I go into a state, I'll holler at my family or people I know in a state, but I got no time. I truck a lot, but we'll work it out where you can send me a Starlink and I'll have a better channel. Just saying, and I can bring you more intel. So Elon, if you're listening, dude, I'm not interested in the peopling of it all. Just let me know. Give me a free Starlink. Send me a couple of them. So, but that was the picture of the thing. Let's see here. There we go. That's what's happening live on the YouTube. It asks. I don't necessarily put stuff up all the time, but it asks. So hey, gotta like your own stuff. Hey, if you don't like your own stuff, ain't nobody gonna like your stuff, right? This slow thing will work. Oh, I didn't click on it. I guess there we go. All right, now I'm gonna search though. I wanted to see if I could find. Let's see. Oh, this guy. You know what? I could go to his page because he's right there. See if he's posted anything. It don't have to be on Ukraine. On the nuclear reactor. It could be anything on Ukraine. So he's a journalist, a defense reporter. There's a ban on booze sales. Well, they're giving away the bottles for Molotov cocktails. What is this? Oh, there you go. There's just some Russian soldiers. That's what Russian soldiers look like. They look like this guy, and this guy. So they're just poor kids from poor neighborhoods that they conscripted for that reason. They're nowhere around Moscow. So when they come back in a casket or body bag, whatever you want to call it, and the caskets are coming to Russia, and it's supposed to be over 10,000 now that have died, but Russia's saying, oh, it was 495. Maybe now they got to 500. They're going to stick at 500. Let's see here. Ukrainian counteroffensive operation liberates the city of Chuhiv, close to Kharkiv. And you can take this to the bank. If this guy says it, he's legit. He's there, and he's not putting up anything that's not true or popping off right now. Let's see here. Let's see. Russian state TV channels have been hacked by Anonymous to broadcast the truth about what happens in Ukraine. So they have taken over the television stations in Ukraine, and they're showing this truth of what's happening in Ukraine, the video of people getting hurt and everything else. And I mean, that's just funny. That's great. Op Russia, like Operation Russia, Operation Kremlin, and then FCK Putin and stand with Ukraine. Yeah. So, there's a phrase that I've learned. Don't let me mess this up. I'll try to do it right. If anybody from Ukraine, y'all don't hold this against me if I get this wrong, but Slavo Ukraine. So there you go. Ukrainu. Yeah, there you go. Slavo Ukrainu. That means glory to Ukraine. They're teaching the Russian soldiers that they even take captive and having them say it in the backseat of the cars. It's really great. They're having the Russian soldiers say glory to Ukraine. I think that's great. But no, absolutely, glory to Ukraine. Hope they stay free and sovereign. Let's see. Having full control of Irpin is essential for advancing Russian forces as part of their drive to gain a foothold in Kiev's outskirts. Yeah, they might get the outskirts, but the civilians flee in terror as Irpin, Ukraine. Yeah, because now they're being told that they have to invade. So I told you there's going to be a surge and there's going to be a little something, but then they're also fighting amongst themselves and giving up, finding they had to go to Russia at the last minute. They were told their own exercises. They were never told to go into war. Let's see. Russia is recruiting Syrians for urban combat in Ukraine, U.S. officials say. Yeah, they're trying to bring the war from Syria over to Ukraine. It's kind of crazy. My fellow townsmen fleeing Volonovka tell me lots of dead bodies are scattered in the streets. Russia simply swept the town of 25,000 off. So 25,000 people are leaving Volnovakha, and dead bodies are scattered in the streets. That's this right here. So I give you my warning next. I give you my word next morning. Official Sting will be elected a fighter Emirates by nearly 78% of Ukraine's territorial defense battalions. Okay, that's that guy. That's Sting. He's helping out. Let's see. This guy was killed in action today. So yeah, this is just how I get intel. You asked a question, I started going off into a tangent of it, but there's that. The other thing is, I want to search on here, ABC News, see what they say, or just search. I'll just search Ukraine, or I can search Russia. Either way, you find a bunch of people cussing about Russia. They've made posters of Putin, dead or alive. They put, everything from cussing at them to. And a lot of people from Russia are actually, there's a mass exodus from Russia. There's people that are leaving Russia. I think they're going to Finland, if I'm not mistaken. And then people from Ukraine are going to Poland. So I'm hoping Poland and Finland people now don't have an issue with each other. I think they know that the Russians didn't know what was going on. They're not all backing Putin, not all of them. The ones that do are just doing it because they might get shot if they say something different. RT to think anonymous for piercing through Putin's media blackout. No, RT is Russian television. Let's see here, propaganda. So it claims to have accessed TV channels Russia 24, Channel 1, and Moscow 24, and streaming services Wink and Evie. Yeah, Anonymous has took over a lot. Let's see. Deactivate all Teslas in Russia. Oh my God! If he does that, that's funny. Elon Musk. If he deactivated Teslas, can he do that? Man, I don't know, man. South Korea will stop transactions with the Central Bank of Russia. That's weird. South Korea. No, that makes sense. I thought they was talking about North Korea. I was like, what? Let's see. Too big for accounting firms. I won't be on this much longer. I just, hey, look, I'm just scrolling through and doing my thing, Somebody asked me how I get Intel. I ain't seen anything that was popping off. Russia was removed from Apple Maps. Get out. Come on. Oh my God. Apple Maps. They removed the whole country of Russia from Apple Maps. That's funny. How you going to get anywhere now? I mean, they already can't. Oh, that way the military can't use it too. I would have done that a long time back. I would have done that from the start. Is shut them down from that. So the new, let's see. That's great. I mean, I don't know if they deleted the whole country, if they just stopped using it. Let's see. Like, did they disappear it? Yeah, they did. Oh my God, they made it look like the ocean. So this would be Russia if the world flooded. This is great. Let's see here if I can. Oh, let me click off of this garbage. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh my God, I want to save that. I don't know how though, because I don't know how to save pictures on this device right now. I don't know, but that's okay. Maybe I can zoom in on it. Or either way, oh my God. Like here's Finland. So right next to Finland, this is the border of Russia, and this is, they just made it the ocean. That's hilarious. These people are smart and funny at the same freaking time. I love it. That's great. Oh my God. Russia just went into the ocean. They sunk it like freaking Atlantis, man. Russia is the new Atlantis. I'm saving this picture. I'll put it on another live. I'll do it off of my phone. I can do that. And I'll do a live off my phone. That is great. I got to figure out how to get pictures on this computer. I don't know how yet. Oh my God. That's the funniest thing ever. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. So there's no more Russia. You'll have to swim from Finland to get over to Kazakhstan and all. Wait, did they also get rid of... let's see. Well, they still have, though, Belarus. They should get rid of Belarus, because Belarus is allowing Russia to take arms through here, and they're attacking, and like right here is like Chernobyl, come through here. So they should get rid of Belarus. Anybody's listening to this, get rid of Belarus too, because they might use maps there. I would have done that though from day one if I was thinking in military strategy. I definitely would have shut down all the GPS of everything for Belarus, Russia, what was that outpost they had? Well, down here in the Black Sea. That's great. Look at the Black Sea just got bigger and it's connected. Look at all the traffic. You could have trade from Kazakhstan. You could take a container ship straight over here. Trade just changed completely when they just made this ocean. All right, I'm gonna block that. That's great. Oh my God, that's funny. I'm totally cheesing on this. Whoever did that, they're a genius. I dig it. They're awesome. So, wow. Oh, I don't even know if people are even seeing what I'm seeing about this thing, are you? Let's see. Oh my God. Russia removed from Apple Maps. Maybe you see the picture, you see the other picture. That's okay. It's good enough. I just clicked on the thing that zoomed it. Let me click out of this one. Yeah, I see what you guys are seeing anyways on the, if that's up. Yeah, I'm sharing this tab. I clicked on it and I went further to look at it better. So you guys didn't see that, but that's okay. Let me go to, let's see, it'd be AP. Oh, I'll search Ukraine AP, or just search Ukraine. Anything could happen in the time that I was. Oh, the evacuation in Mariupol fails for another time because they're still shelling. My tunes died. It's all right. I'm fixing to get off this thing. Let's see here. Hacker Group Anonymous. Yeah. I want to look this up. Look up nuclear because there's so much to search through. Nuclear reactor. I know they had taken over 3, like 2, and starting to take over the 3rd one. Then they lost the 1. Oh my God. That's a big deal. Okay, wait a second. This says breaking. Russia says Ukraine security service is planning to blow up a nuclear reactor and blame it on Russia. That means that Russia's going to do it. And they're going to say that Ukraine did it and blame it on Russia. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll like that and share that. That's what's popping. Definitely false flag. Just saying. Man. I don't know how relevant or reputable I'd say the Spectator Index is, but I'm with them on it. I mean, either way, it's always a threat. Let's see. Fired rockets at a physics institute in Kharkiv, which holds 37 nuclear fuel cells and a nuclear reactor. Ukraine says it risks a large-scale ecological disaster. For the love of God, please stop this. No, they want to nuke all of Ukraine. You know, that is their MO. They're destroyers. They don't fix, build, you know. Man, that's crazy. Ministry of Defense have booby-trapped a nuclear reactor at Kharkov Institute of Physics and plan to blow it up and accuse Russia of carrying out a missile strike onto it. Really? I'm going to retweet this. So yeah, they're fixing to have a nuclear war, but it's just not going to be missiles. Rigged a reactor. Man, that's a lot. So you ask how I find intel, it just pops up like this. That's that. But then if I have a vision of something, I'm like, man, what is that even possible? Like, how am I supposed to tell the world that the Russian troops are going to say they're hungry and they're tired of war and give up and lace their hands on their heads? And I'm like, that can't be true. That can't. But I know it's real. But it's like, how is that possible? So I look up. I'm like, has the Russian army ever surrendered? And how many do they have? How many does Ukraine have? I'm like, that don't make no sense. Okay, so I kind of laced it into a video. It is what it is. People know what I do. I tell them, you picking up what I'm putting down or not. It's all good. Let's see. Apocalypse. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Planning to blow up a reactor. You're the one taking them over. See, it's such lies, but they think they can get away with it because they think the world doesn't have intel. We got intel, Bubba. We see this in real time. We see what you're doing, taking over a reactor, and then you're trying to false flag and blame somebody else. Has now fallen to Russian military control, but that was on the 4th. Wait a second. Yeah, today's the 6th. They've already ran them off, unless they took it again, which they're going to. Just so you know, I'm telling you ahead of time, they're going to. Their objective has not been met exactly yet. Let's see. Unit 1 is in outage. It was at Unit 1 I was talking about. Units 2 and 3 have been disconnected from the grid. And the cooldown of the reactor institution Unit 4 is operative. 5 and 6 are being cooled down, so leaving 4 going. Currently is occupied. Military forces. Operational personnel. I'll retweet that even though they already got rid of them. Even though people will know that it was older. But it's still it's good intel because man, they even know the battalion and the Azov battalion are planning to blow up a nuclear reactor in Kharkov and accuse the Russian military of launching projectiles at it. But that's Russia saying that, and it's a lie. But no, Russia's going to blow up a freaking reactor. Jesus. Like, this could cause nuclear winter for us, too. And by the way, a good bit, I don't know what percentage, maybe 10% or something of the world's grain and corn comes from Ukraine. Ukraine is considered to be a breadbasket, and they used to actually help Russia out a lot. This is disturbing. I did not see them blowing up with charges. I saw them blowing one up, but I thought they were going to pull the rods out. I still think they're going to pull the rods out, just because it makes sense to me. I just know what I was shown, what I saw, and I had like a vision, and I was sleeping, and I woke up. It wasn't exactly a dream; it was different, and it's a thing. And then I check it out on the internet, but I can't believe they're saying this though. Like, is this how it's going to go down? I thought they were going to pull the rods out because that makes sense to me. I was just shown the explosion, though. It was a big one. When they go bad, they hydrogen builds up in them, and it explodes because it's hydrogen. It's flammable and explosive. Anything can ignite it. And then, let's see. So they think he was trying to blow it up. Let's see this here. But we don't know that it'll actually melt down. Yeah, I'm not like that. Let's see here. So yeah, so people get on Twitter. Like I said, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? You can do this. You can do this just as easy as watching me. But I know that y'all see what I put up. So I appreciate that. But you really, really should. May have fired on a building in Kharkiv that houses a small nuclear reactor. So it's not the Ukrainians in the Azov battalion. The Azov battalion, I guess, is part of Ukraine then. So I didn't mean to misspeak on that one. They make it confusing for a purpose. I'm just reading this stuff here. Breaking. Men will destroy before going to therapy or whatever. Holding. Yeah, why are they shelling a nuclear reactor? That was on the 3rd. But this is 1 hour ago. So here's the thing. If it would happen one way or another, I think it would be better if they did blow it up with a bomb rather than if they pulled the rods out like I was talking about. So I did see an explosion. It was an actual explosion. It could have been that way. I just know something to do with reactor number 1. This is what I know. This is my knowing. So I don't know which one it was. I just know it's reactor number 1. And so when it happens, you can say, "Oh, that's odd." Yeah, well, I saw it. But if they made it go China syndrome, like I think, because that's what I can relate to, that would be worse. So I'm hoping it is just let's see here. Looks like Russian gangs are about to blow a nuclear reactor at Kharkiv, and then blame Russian gangs. They got Russian gangs they've done brought in there. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so getting off of this, I really just want to look at ABC on here. Question is, how do I do that? This is going to hold me up. Maybe I'll just go to ABC News. No, not audio devices. ABC News. This is what I would like to know, is even if they haven't put it up on Twitter yet, but that they have a breaking headline. ABC puts some stuff up. Sometimes they redact it and change it and this kind of stuff because they messed up, but it gets out. Russia openly announces new planned atrocity against Ukrainian people as far as Zelensky's concerned. Yeah, this is a big deal, man. Planned atrocity. strike targeting military industrial facilities will kill civilians, he said. Man. Russian attacks increase on cities under siege. Yeah, because everybody was calling it a full-scale attack. This is not full-scale anything, especially because of all the dissension among the ranks and all of the garbage. It is not in any way a full-scale anything. Let's see. All right. That's ABC. I'm not getting anything off that. Just go back to YouTube. I want to get into looking at Reddit, but I haven't set up an account with that I think I had one a long time ago. But yeah, if I was looking around on the internet, I would go to Reddit, I would go to Twitter, I would go to AP, I would go to Reuters, I would go to BBC, I would go to Reddit, because believe it or not, they do have some real stuff there. And I see if people have put stuff up on YouTube, but a lot of it is questionable. Except this, there's one. Russian helicopter down. That's a new one. That's a different one. Oh, I guess Mike Morales is live right now. Well, there you go, China. China, you wanted proof of what's popping. Well, I hit full screen. There we go. China, you wanted to know. That's your answer. There's your double-bladed helicopter. Actually, that one might be a single. I didn't see what they named it, but that might be one of those single blades with a lot more blades to it. It's a hard call. Reports from the conflict zone. Another Russian jet got shot down. Is this the one that I already showed? Or that was a helicopter.
New flashlight is powerful enough to cook an egg, or start a fire in only a matter of seconds. And it can burn through literally anything instantly.
No, it's not unskippable.
This US...
There we go. Alright. Armed Forces Zone. Footage of service online of Russian ship. Kharkiv. That's different. This is new. This is new. Good job. The governor claimed the Russian Su-25 is a Su-25. Yeah, those 25s are no good against Stingers. Really, even the 35s aren't. But they tried to make kind of like a Warthog kind of thing. But they don't need to be bombing people anyway. I mean, come on. Alright, that's all I wanted to show. I'm just using this for commentary purposes. Ukraine news. Let's see what Google has to say on Ukraine. CNN updates. They got live camera feeds too. I probably should have went. Let me see if I can go back to YouTube and type in Ukraine live cam. Where's the search bar for that? And this has become a pretty long live here. But if you think about it, this whole war thing deserves a lot more coverage. Anyways. I've already typed it in. Come on. Ukraine News Live. That's from Fox. I'm not trying to watch that really. This one. Kyiv Live. Drone escapes. This is the one that, like, I think they had the 4 cams. Yeah. This shows Kyiv in real time. I thought that was pretty cool. Let me keep going though. There's a lot of British soldiers though, or I would say ex-British soldiers, you gotta say it like that, and ex-American soldiers that are going over there to fight. We on live. I'll see what's going on with them. Yeah, then I'm gonna have some soup, but I'm gonna get off this thing. People, God bless you. It's a good thing we're not at war. Hope you enjoyed what I've put up. It's my new little thing. I'm able to actually. This is the format I wanted my channel at from day one, but I did not have from day one a computer, a webcam, a microphone, the software thing that I just had to learn to go to use. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to try to have a channel. I'm trying to have it so I can deploy it quickly. Like keep it in a case, open it up.
That's where we are doing.
But I'll eventually get it set up so that I can have everything. I've got like a Pelican case kind of thing. I can get everything like ready to deploy, like to put out quickly and hook up quickly and then go live, you know. I'll have to get it down to a science. Yeah, and see Ukrainian invasion, Russians are. This is Sky News. Sky News is another good place to get news. Russians are shooting at hospitals and schools. You know.
They were running for their lives.
Because it's what they do.
Frantically trying to keep their families together amid the mayhem and gunfire, desperately handing over their toddlers to soldiers and strangers, scrambling to get away from the firing and shelling even as they fled. Many have spent days under fire, trapped in their homes until they realized it was run or die. with the Russians getting closer. Berlin, on the outskirts of the capital, is being relentlessly shelled. And there's no escape.
This is the guy that it's fixing to be an explosion right here. I don't know that he died, but that happened.
This is an entirely residential area.
If they had played the rest of it, you'd hear him.
Outright. But this area is filled with families, utterly powerless against this attacking army.
I don't know what just happened to the screen.
The bombed bridge connecting Irpin with Kiev is now a target for the Russian troops. Those trying to escape came under fire several times. The Ukrainian soldiers tried to shoot down drones, pinpointing the positions of the fleeing families.
They're trying to shoot down
rushing to get
drones.
out are the most vulnerable, who felt too nervous
They need
to try to
electronic
escape
warfare
until
devices
now,
that take
where
out
there
drones.
was no
Anybody
other
can buy
option.
them. They need those.
But this route
Send
used
it to
by
them.
hundreds
They're trying to
24
shoot them with
hours
bullets.
earlier is now desperately dangerous. And the attackers are showing no mercy.
That was the loudest we've heard. Yeah, we better go out now. There's a lot of incoming now, and it's getting a lot closer.
The Russian military is pushing forward towards the capital and is taking ground, killing and injuring as they do so. And a lot of the casualties are civilians, hurt by shrapnel and mortars fired in heavily populated built-up areas. Attacking civilians and non-combatants is an international war crime, and multiple families gave us first-hand accounts, many who only just survived themselves.
I was helping people evacuate near the bridge. I wanted to give some chocolate to a child, and there was a family of 4 there, but only the mother survived. The child, about 13 or 15, was hit by.
So, So the word's getting around that Russia is saying, and Russia has actually said it, that Ukraine is going to blow up a nuclear reactor and blame it on Russia. No, Russia's going to do it and say that Ukraine did it and blame it on them. So it's not good. Not good. But they're trying to do something at Chernobyl. They're pulling material out, and it's setting off alarms. And I think they're making polonium-210. So, Ukrainian nuclear power plant damaged. No, it was just a building that was damaged. It was a training building. Biggest rush, and they're rebuilding it right now. Of Russia's attack on nuclear power. Nobody's asking the question, what were they doing while they were in there? What specifically were they doing? And what objective did they actually accomplish? See, here we go. Elevated levels of radiation detected near nuclear facility plant attacked by Russian army. This is breaking news. This is actually CNBC. But we've had other reports saying, oh, there was no leaks. We got to listen to this. This is 3 days ago. 3 days ago, they were saying that there was actually a leak. See, this is where it gets interesting. I'll use that word, interesting. They are saying there's no reason to be alarmed and this and that. And there wasn't a radiation leak, but elevated levels of radiation. It's not the plant that's leaking. They stole material.
I'm just going to read it exactly as it's written here. A government official tells the Associated Press that elevated levels of radiation are now being detected near this site at Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, which provides 25% of the entire country's power generation.
Let's listen to that again.
A government official tells the Associated Press that elevated levels of radiation are now being detected near this site at Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, which provides 25% of the entire country's power generation. The official spoke on condition of anonymity because this information has not yet been publicly released. Again, a government official tells the Associated Press that elevated levels of radiation are being detected at this, the largest nuclear plant in Europe. Now, I should say, NBC News has not confirmed this information, but we often rely on Associated Press and their reports and have found their reports to be accurate over time. Perry, Cal Perry, if radiation levels are higher than normal, that would suggest that this firefight and the fire that's happened there could have burst the containment.
No,
I'm no expert in this subject, but
there was no
if levels have suddenly gone up, that's about the worst sign you can think of.
They stole stuff for a dirty bomb, and I think that they also made polonium. That is
horrifying. I will tell you, in the past week we were talking a lot about Chernobyl, right? The Russian troops rolling into Chernobyl, and we had heard the IAEA also and other groups saying that they had detected some radiation there. This is clearly part of a Russian plan to either secure these sites or to destroy these sites.
They only had this thing for a couple days.
It was earlier in the hour we were talking about them cutting power to some of these smaller villages. Look, if they can take over that power plant, we're talking about power on a massive scale being controlled by the Russians, not just a military target, but something that could certainly become a tipping point in this conflict, and something that you can be sure the White House and the world are going to be watching closely.
Yeah, the latest we've gotten, this began with the mayor of the town. And then the next person quoted was a spokesperson for the power plant. Now being quoted is the foreign minister of Ukraine. And a government official, unnamed just thus far, is the one who said that after this firefight and the resulting fire at the nuclear plant, that's when the levels of radiation being detected started to rise. It provides about 25% of the country's power generation. As you might imagine, all nuclear power plants are equipped in the immediate area of the plant itself, in the area around the plant, all the way to the fences and in the towns beyond, with sophisticated sensors which would detect instantly any increase in radiation.
Right.
And especially on the plant itself, it would set off an alarm which would tell employees there or anyone who might be in the region that they needed to get into suits or into containment areas that are safe should radiation have leaked. Now, I know from covering these stories over the decades that there have been times when those alarms go off by accident, and people go into these drills that they've performed over and over and over again in an effort to save lives inside a nuclear power plant if some sort of accident happens. So you would have to think that since they reported to us that the radiation levels are high, those sensors must have gone off. And now on the right-hand side of your screen, you see what appears to be smoke or steam or something. We're working to get the video backed up so you can see the firefight as it took place. We were recording this, but we need to get it back to the right area, and we'll do that for you in just a minute. Let's bring in now Matthew Koenig. He's a nuclear expert at the Atlantic Council, who's live with us on the
thing of it. Yeah. So for the guy that asked me,
radioactive material is quite.
Mike Skidmore, you put, where does Trucker Stuff get his info from? CNN. I get my info from a lot of places. The only reason I use this type of thing, like CNN and CNBC, is when I heard a report of something like there were elevated nuclear levels at that reactor. And then when they recant or change it or whatever, so that I can go back and see where they put this up, this is when I use CNBC or CNN. I don't usually use them as a source because there's a lot of propaganda wrapped around it. But it's helpful when it's like, wait, I heard that there was elevated radiation, and now they're backtracking on that, to go back and to find it and to say, nope, here, this is where I heard it from. That's when I use places like CNN or CNBC. I try not to I don't support them. So even showing them like this is like, they don't even deserve to be on my screen right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all, like I said, it's the propaganda news network. But just a quick Google search. A close call. Independent. Fire rockets at that physics. This one is the scary one right now, because that's the one they're saying that they even tried to say that there's a bomb strapped to. So right now, I would say all eyes on this. Russian forces fire rockets. This is from the Independent. They're trusted. At a physics institute. They fire rockets at a physics institute inside Kharkiv with a nuclear reactor inside. They've got a nuclear reactor plus all kinds of other stuff here. Icon, long live the Russians. Well, they have lived for a long time, and a lot of them are moving to Finland. So Finland's being invaded by Russia again, but it's peaceful this time. That's what I'm calling it. But yeah, we'll see how long. There's a few other leaders that might not make it through this. If you told me the same people running Russia right now will be running things in 20 years, I would not believe you. Which Putin's got like 14 more years. We got about 14 more years to deal with him if he was alive, but I just don't see it. You know, I ain't gonna believe it. So, not after this. This is where they attacked that place that's got a reactor inside, and they're saying that it's strapped with a bomb ready to go. They're saying that Russia is saying Ukraine put a bomb in here and they're going to blow it up and blame it on Russia. No, Russia's the one doing this. Hey, slow. Russia's thing for truckers. Want to go free house? They can have it. And they're for, you know, my me camera is facing the road because, you know, I'm just like that. But there you go. Yeah, they might be looking for this trucker. You see, so I got to show forward. You know what I'm saying? Never know. I'm quite sure that they have hit the dislike button a few times. But why is it? Is that commercial picture in picture? How does that even work? Let's see here. But yeah, it's like an actual YouTube channel. These kids out here, they got these YouTube channels. I'm like, hey, I can figure this out eventually. Man, it's a mess though. I got to go onto a web page, ask it permission to put a bunch of stuff up and use my channel. It's kind of half past crazy. But I'll get good at it, and it'll be that fast, and it'll be ready to deploy. So I'll have it in a Pelican case like a freaking AR or something, you know. Open it up, deploy the microphone, be like a PRC, like a military portable radio, where you got to hook up the external microphone, kind of like a CB, but hook up the external microphone, hook up the radio, hook up the battery power source. I'll have a battery power source for it too. I'm gonna have everything in a case. Might even build a Faraday cage at some point for it in case I'm EMP'd. It's all good. Of course, then the net would be down, but if I can get signal, maybe even run a sat phone. You know, they sent a bunch of sat phones to Ukraine too. So if there's a way to data uplink, I'm gonna find it. And Elon Musk, after watching this video, I'm sure he's gonna send me a Starlink system, you know. I doubt it. But hey, if you did, I'm looking into getting one. Let's see here. Use an ad blocker. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's any, like I could click off of it, but I don't know. I think this is like all ads all the time. I don't know how this even channel thing works. Like, I hit play. Like, I guess I should have just hit it. I thought the video went over there. I thought I was waiting for it to end. This is somebody holding the camera against the screen anyways. It's not even the original footage. I can do better than that with my channel with a freaking tripod. So somebody's holding it, showing the screen. I guess they couldn't get permission from the nuclear reactor or the place, or what you call it, the college with the reactor, to use their footage yet, so they went ahead and just put it on the phone. Okay, it just got creepy here. Got a car pulling up and moving around next to me. Loading the ad. Three Russian commanders were killed in Ukraine. That's a big deal. Russians switch to long-distance bombardment as tank columns get bogged down. That's great. Wait, that was a big deal. Hold on, not Putin's head, the other one. This is a big deal. U.S. is working to get Polish fighter jets for Ukraine's military. That's a big deal, says Blinken. Yo, take me to that story. That's what's up. Like, that is the story. Because they're going to need to do a strafing run on that freaking armor column. It's not even showing up down here. Here we go. Yeah, it's coming up. It's just slow. So I have a fast new computer. It's just slow because I'm got it tethered to this. So as soon as yeah, it just blocks the ads. Yeah, I know what an ad blocker is. Yeah, I appreciate you telling me that, but I know, but I don't have one. But this will be faster Might even hook this thing up 5G and do it a little bit different. Let the 5G microwaves fry my brain while I'm on the internet. Fighting intensifies close to the capital. That is the story, though. That's a big, big deal. Airplanes that Poland may provide to Ukraine. We'll buy them. $1 a piece, American. That'll go a long way in Russia. Hey, listen, if you want to buy a country right now, it's all devalued. $100 will buy all of Russia, which now is not on the map anymore because we just found that out. It's all water. But once the map comes back, you could short the stock and you can make a lot of money on Russia right now. Like buy it, sell when it's high, and short it. Buy when it's buy bet against it. I really, really want to see Ukraine with a good Air Force. It just is what it is, man. Air Force is the first thing you send in anyway. They could have took out all those tanks. But it's good because some of them lived and played Red Rover. I said that would happen. I didn't know how to bring it to the world. So I kind of was cryptic about it. But I said, listen, this is not a joke, people. This is kind of funny, but it's real. What can you do? You can go on the internet and say, hey, listen, Russia's fixing to surrender to a smaller country south of them. Put their hands on their head. And then I'm still waiting for them to shave down trees and shove them into barrels. I saw that too. When we see that on the news, you'll be like, get out. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Right now, they're just gifting their tanks to Ukraine. They're saying he's going to actually start blowing up reactors, and I saw that as happening. So he's going to, but I thought, what I saw was the explosion. I think that they're going to pull out rods like they did with Chernobyl. I think they're going to restart Chernobyl. They've already detected higher levels since they took over Chernobyl, so they're stealing material out of there for nuclear dirty bombs. And then same thing happened when they were in that other reactor that they just took over, because it was three of them. I would call it the one they actually took over, so I'd call it the second one. But then if you count Chernobyl, it would be the third one, and then they had almost got the fourth one. But if you're not counting Chernobyl, that was three that they were attacking and trying to take over. And I think they're making polonium-210, out of substance they got to put in the reactor there. Let's see. I could close that out a minute ago. There we go. I don't know what this video is even about. Maybe it's just showing Poland. But yeah, Russia's going to be using all of the nuclear reactors as nukes, and they're going to try to radiate. If they can just radiate all of Ukraine, that creates a buffer zone. They don't have to take over the country and be in it all the time. It'll just make it a place where nobody will cross. But they'll send their troops across it to get to the Black Sea, to the base they're going to build. I can guarantee you that. I think this is just a live cam. That's okay. We come across some good news. Just doing. Now, every news media place has their own propaganda, but they do it for their country and they don't care what other countries say. So sometimes they let stuff out. You can find good stuff. Putin calls on Ukraine to surrender. Kind of hard to do when your troops keep going there and surrendering. Makes it difficult. So does Ukraine surrender to Russia after Russia has surrendered to Ukraine? How's that work? You know. Now that I know how to do this, my next live, I'm going to load up a bunch of pages. I'll go into that app, and then it disconnects from one page and connects to another pretty quick. And that's how I'm going to do it, because you can't just X out of it and show the whole screen. That kind of thing is, I don't think that's so good. But maybe I'll learn how to do that too. Where are the oligarchs' yachts? Oh, that's another big thing too. Oh, one guy caught one of the yachts on fire. I don't know if you heard about that, people. This guy who's been working for an oligarch, he's from Ukraine, and he's an engineer. A really smart guy. And he was maintaining the yacht, engine-wise and everything else. And then he heard what Russia had did to attack Ukraine, so he sabotaged the yacht, went down in the bottom in the engine room. He did something to, I think he turned off the engines, but he also opened up a pump to let water into it to sink it. But then he did something else to make it so that pump wouldn't have power and another bilge pump wouldn't have power, so it would actually sink it. It was genius, is what it was. And I think he partially sunk it. First, he told the crew to get off because he told them what he was doing, or just let them know, hey, get off the yacht because something fixing to happen. And then he did that, and it was just hilarious. And then he went to court, and the court said, what's your plea to this? He says, I did it. And he says, that's just the start of what I'm going to do. And then when he left there, he told the newspaper, he says, that's just the start of what I'm going to do. And he says, I'm going back to Ukraine right now. So he's going to fight in Ukraine after he mostly sunk one of the oligarchs' yachts. Now, they took Putin's yacht, and he had moved it to Germany, I think, or something like that, and then they seized it anyway. They were trying to move their stuff around, but you can't hide your stuff, especially if it's a big, huge yacht. You got to have permission to be in a country, because it's almost like you're your own country when you got a yacht that big. So let's scroll down, see what this is about. But I thought it was funny that the engineer sunk that other yacht. You can screenshot this, so I'm not completely scrolling out of your shot, but that just went away for a second. Man. I'm eating chips here, but it says an oligarch often holds part of his wealth and part of his ego in one or more lavish yachts. Sometimes they're worth more than $500 million each. And U.S. President Joe Biden has pledged, read more to go after them, whatever. So it's showing where their yachts are at. All that read more mess. Hey, let's go back to YouTube and check out that one dude that he flattened out a yacht. That'd be great. I forgot about that completely, but it's a big deal. Igon, you need to watch this from the start and go back where I showed the Putins. There's 2 different Putins. And I did a little Slim Shady music. We're going to have the real Putin stand up. Check this out. I'm going to go in here, though, and look up. Let's see. There we go. All right, let me see. This is the one I saw that I thought was decent. Super Yacht News. Or was it?
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales
I think there's
Special.
another one that might have even been better.
Cars arriving daily. Now's the time.
Let's get this straight. It was a $7.7 million luxury super yacht. Let's see. Let me go back. New York Post. Let's see what they say, because I give them some props. Sometimes they're decent. And then I'm going to get off this thing. This is all you get. Oh, is this one of them where they just play music? Flood the engine room. Lady Anastasia. Now, are you getting the... That's what I was going to show about this. I'm going to go back. Now, are you picking up the irony of this? This is the lady. Let's do this again. All right. This is the lady Anastasia. Now, Anastasia or Anastasia was one of the royal family members, a little girl that was murdered by the people that were the precursors of the current Russian administration, even though Russia split up. That's where they got their power from, was that the Bolsheviks murdered the Romanovs, and he named his boat Anastasia, and so he made his money off of the end result of them killing Anastasia and her family, but they named it this. But then look at what happens if somebody sunk his boat. That's just ironic. A little bit ironic. Because Rostek, he said he would do it again and plans to fly to Ukraine to fight for his country. See, they supply arms to Europe, to Russia. I mean, that is fighting against Ukraine. He found out his boss that makes those things, that they're being used against Ukraine. So he tried to sink the boat. He told the judge, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I did it, and I'd do it again. And then he says, that's not all I'm going to do. That's just the start of my fight. And then he went to fight for the Ukrainian army. I thought that was great. So people won't get off this thing. That's all I got. God bless you. Y'all have a good night. And watch the start of this, and watch back where about halfway where I found that picture of Putin, and we went all over the internet on this one. So it was great. It's been fun. It's been real. Hopefully we won't wake up to nuclear radioactive clouds. Like I said, God bless you people. I'm out. Peace.